Innovation is simply defined as development of new methods of production and establishment of new management systems and exploitation of a value-added novelty in economic and social spheres. And when we talk about social spheres, that applies also to human sciences and social sciences. So this is not just as a unit in economics, though economists will also do creativity and innovation. But here we are more or less a bit general in such a manner that the course is applying to anyone. It's a common university unit. So creativity is both a process and an outcome. It is a process through which value is created and delivered to a community of users in the form of a new solution. To be called an innovation, an idea must be reliable at an economical price. It must satisfy a specific requirement. Now, in business, innovation often concludes when thoughts or ideas are applied by the association to further captivate the needs and demands of the customers. In other words, innovation synonyms with risk-taking factors, and organizations that create revolutionary products or technologies take on the greatest risk because they create new markets. Or in summary, creativity is a capability or act of conceiving something original or unusual. Innovation is the implementation of something new. So you can see now the distinction between innovation and invention. They are not the same, because innovation is the implementation of something new, while invention is the creation of something that has never been made before. It is recognized as a product of some unique insight. Creativity is the intellectual ability to make creations, to make inventions, to make discoveries that brings novel relations, entities, and or unexpected solutions into existence. That's according to Wang, 2009 and 2013. Creativity is a gift and ability of humans in thinking, inference, problem solving, and product development. That's a repetition of what we have seen earlier. In view of this, our course drives us to think about three concepts. That is, 1, innovation, number 2, invention, number 3, creativity. So we have these three concepts that are very critical in this unit. So innovation is a process of turning a new concept into commercial success or widespread use. So it's a question of turning a new concept into commercial success or widespread use. While invention is a creation of a new idea or concept. So when you invent, it is totally new. But when you innovate, it can be something, it's a concept you have, but you turn it around to make more socio-economic sense or something like that. But creativity here is the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. So you can see these concepts are related to one another. It will require reading and rereading so that you can get it. And that's why we have repeated it several sections. We keep going on and then repeating it. Now, what's the difference between creativity and innovation? Creativity is a capability or act of conceiving something original or unusual, while innovation is the implementation of something new. Invention is a creation of something that has never been made before and is recognized as a product of some unique insight. If we happen to invite stakeholders meetings and brainstorm over how to build our institution, we will most likely come up with new ideas. Hence, we eventually display creativity. We only become innovative when we implement something that comes out of the said meeting. For us to be innovative, we must take risks by implementing our creative ideas. Otherwise, creative ideas must be converted into innovation. An invention might be a product or device or method that has never existed before. So every invention is an innovation in a sense. But every innovation is not an invention. Now, when your company, if you are in a company, first published its website that something that was a major innovation for the company, even though many other websites already existed it. That is, when your company first published its website, that was a major innovation for the company, even though many other websites already existed. So you can see that innovation doesn't mean invention. Now, we have a tendency to think of innovation as a new product, yet we can innovate with a new process. The same issue that was there, but innovate it. So be innovative with what you have. So we can innovate with a new process, just changing the process or changing the method in what we already have. Changing the method for the business model, partnership, route to market or marketing method. So it's a question of changing, the process, building a new process or method or approach. That's when you become innovative. It doesn't mean you start something altogether, something fresh from a clean slate. No, invention is building from where we already are. Now, indeed, every aspect of our businesses or your business operation is a candidate for innovation. In other words, your business or your church, if you are a churchman, can be better if you are innovative. If you are class students, you can be innovative and ensure that students get higher grades by the way you employ your innovativeness. So it's not that you are going to cut off the class, you cut off the student, you get new students or get new teachers, not at all. It's a question of coming new with better, more modern, more appealing methods in order to improve your yields. You yield better or you make improvements. Now, one scholar by name Peter Drucker once said, every organization must prepare for the abandonment of everything it does. So Peter Drucker was saying, we must always prepare. If we want to be innovative, we must always prepare to abandon what we are currently doing and prepare to think more or less afresh or to think it in a new way. Now, if you are remembering our psychology classes, we were saying human nature changes when we begin to see things in a new way. When we accept to see things in a different perspective, our human nature, our perspective will change to what we want it to be. But if we remain dogmatic, conservative, people who are tied by certain doctrines, thoughts, old ideas, old habits, and we institutionalize those old habits, old ways, definitely we will not move, because innovativeness will not be given room to shine or to help you make a better use. So do not restrict your vision of innovation to products. That's another caution. We should not assume innovation is only for business people. Every one of us has a chance to be innovative. None of us is able to do without innovation for better use. In every corner we are in, there must be innovation for us to make it better. Now, some of the most powerful innovations you can make are in business methods and customer services. If we look at companies like Safaricom, Kenya Railway, and Cooperative Bank of Kenya, we see that there are great innovations with their business models rather than in new products. So innovations can be incremental or radical. For every improvement that you make in products or services that you offer can be seen as an incremental innovation. Most businesses and most managers are good at incremental innovation. They see problems in the current setup and they fix them. Radical innovations involve finding new ways of doing things. As such, they are often risky. Of course, when you get innovative, you are also risking. And one lady by name Patricia, an American educationist, talks about 3 R's of professionalism. One of the 3 R's of what a professional should be is risk taking. Okay? One of them is risk taking. Of course, the other two, that points to innovation. And when you take risk as a professional, you are able to build your innovation. So as such, they are often risky and difficult to implement. But you can't avoid taking risk in some areas, in many areas, in areas to do with innovation. Most larger organizations and most managers are poor at radical innovation. If you had been enrolling runners in your new school, then you could have introduced incremental innovations in your design and marketing. However, if this was your strategy, then a radical innovation from your competitors could drive you out of market. Others can introduce various incremental improvements that would render you out of market. For instance, the use of social media advertisements, conventional media and the like would drive the non-aggressive one out of the market. So we need to constantly look for incremental innovations and radical innovations. We need to develop creativity and turn it quickly into innovation. So those are some of the things we will not escape if we want to move an inch. If we want to make an impact, we must take all those risks and be prepared to develop our creativity and turn it into innovation. So you can see these 3 concepts that we noted: creativity, innovation, and invention. They are intertwined in the sense that they need one another. They are interdependent. Sometimes you need creativity to be innovative. Sometimes you need innovativeness to be able to invent. So you can see how they are interrelated and how they are different from one another. But unless you come again and study again, you will not easily just get the difference. Now on your screen you can see what I put there: innovative thinking skills that leads to creative problem solving, and we have already looked at this much earlier, and I beg to just say less about it. One of these skills that leads to creative problem solving, you are solving a problem in a very creative way, is analytical thinking. There's an explanation down there that analytical thinking is ability to tackle complicated issues by evaluating information you have gathered and organized. Okay? And then work collaboratively. Working collaboratively or collaborative creativity is a phrase that refers to bringing people together to explore emotions, themes, characters, both positively and negatively. Okay? And it's a normal course of action. Then you can talk of motivation and drive as skills, as innovative thinking skills that leads to creative problem solving. It is also motivation and drive. You must be motivated in order to move and to do better and to be productive. So you need to be motivated. Motivated would mean you are encouraged. Okay, you have the passion to do. So when you have the passion for what you do, or you have the drive for what you do, you can, that is a skill in innovative thinking, and it can lead to solving human problems. wherever we are, there are human problems. How can you solve it? These are the skills. The fourth skills here to consider is self-motivation. Internally, you motivate yourself. The other one is adaptability. There are explanations that I will leave you to pursue down there. Okay? And there is also quantitative skills. Let's look at quantitative skills. Okay? We need quantitative skills. Okay? And quantitative skills is all about is coming from the word quantity. Okay, quantity, because quantity is all about valuing what you are doing. Okay, what you are doing, there's quality and quantity. The broadness here is the issue of broadness of skill, broadening, and sometimes you may talk of hybrid skill, trying to employ more innovative ways of trying to address a problem, of course using creative approaches. The other one is also making decisions. Making decision, and some people are very poor at making decision, is an innovative skill, thinking skill. Some people will not make decision. And how do we make decisions? We consider so many things. First, understand the situation, brainstorm the situation, now synthesize, and then as you analyze, and then from there, that's the time you actually synthesize after analysis. And synthesizing is what Waswahili wanasema ni kama ni kama kichungi vile kinafanya kutenganisha. You separate what is real and what is not real. So you make decision out of weighing the two sides of the coin, not one side of the coin. You must hear the opponent and the proponent of the idea, or you weigh the pros and cons in order to make a decision. No decision is made by looking at one line. Otherwise, that will hurt creativity, it will hurt innovation. Another skill, another innovative thinking skill is risk-taking, which we have considered. Another one, of course, we said professional skills. The three R's of a profession, one of them is risk-taking. The other one is respecting others. If you respect others, you are a good professional. You respect everyone. The other one, the third one, which you come to, but not now. Okay, for this one the last one is industry-related work experience. So you need experience. You need to be knowledgeable in what you do, or you seek knowledge. That's why people go to school, in order to build up what they know. Okay? Okay. So there is also examples of innovative thinking skills that will include, of course, creativity, originality. Originality, you know what that means. If you are writing a book or writing an academic paper, originality will mean you are not just reproducing what is there in the streets. Originality may mean you interviewing people, going to the archives, writing what is not in the internet, but of course backing it with what you find in the internet and published books. But if most of your write-ups are from what others have done, originality dies. Yet there is a lot of oral sources. There is a lot of archival sources. There is a lot of information that is not, put into writing in a very original way. The other one is problem solving. Okay? Critical thinking. So an innovative person will also be critical thinker. Critical, we said in the other unit, those who are in, that a critical thinker is like Socrates in philosophy. And Socrates is the father of critical and creative thinking, because he is the one who was asking when, how, what. He and the Socratic, we have in philosophy what we call Socratic questioning, where you ask questions in order to know when, what, How did it happen? How did it go? How can it be done? That kind of thing. The other one is curiosity. Curiosity, being curious. The other one is collaboration. The other one is communication. The other one is nurturing one's creativity. Okay? So now, those are some of the things we may consider, and they keep coming. They keep coming. It's not that we find it right away. The other one is innovative personalities. Who are they? Innovative or innovation personalities are unconventional thinkers who can generate ideas that earn attention by strategically applying their talents for creativity. They quickly solve problems with fresh and inventive solutions. Now, we can look at a few of them because you can't exhaust some of the greatest innovators of all times. They are here. You can see Sir Isaac Newton, who died in 1727, born 1643. Isaac Newton was an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, theologian, and author who is widely recognized as one of the greatest mathematicians and most influential scientists of all time, and as a key figure in the scientific revolution. Newton is well known for his discoveries in optics referring to white light composition, and in mathematics, that is specifically calculus. It is his formulation of the three laws of motion, the basic principles of modern physics, for which he is most famous. The other one is the Wright brothers. You can remember Wright brothers and the planes. Orville and Wilbur Wright invented and flew the world's first successful airplane in 1903. Their persistence, experimentation, and work on the principles of flight made them legendary investors and innovators. And that one to consider, because we will not consider all of them, just a few. Galileo Galilei. This is the legendary Italian genius whose breakthrough ideas helped usher in the scientific revolution in the 17th century, that is 1800. Galileo is often called the father of modern science. He was forced to defend his views of heliocentrism against the Roman Inquisition, and spending most of his life under house arrest for what the religious society calls heresy, which means false teaching in religion. Galileo has become an icon of scientific integrity in the face of religious dogmatism. So you see something about these guys. These guys, some of these guys are not just mathematicians. Some are even theologians. You see, they are even thinking harder until you even don't know what is the area of specialty. There's a famous quote by Isaac Newton where he says, when he discovered the laws of gravity, he said, when people started praising him and saying good things about him, he replied and told them, if I can see this far, I must have stood on the shoulders of other giants, such as Galileo, who are before me. So you see, even these innovators, you innovate in education, we say, we start from known to unknown. So you start from somewhere, other people know a bit of it, and you move from there and you improve it. You think of somebody like Bill Gates. I beg to just have some, because some of these things are available via video, via YouTube. Some of the material we had considered here, we shall send them via YouTube. Bill Gates, one of the greatest businessmen and philanthropists of the last century. Gates founded and built Microsoft into an unmatched software behemoth before leaving to state the Bill and Merida Gates Foundation, a multi-billion-dollar philanthropic enterprise working to enhance global health care and reduce poverty. This is a gentleman with his wife, Bill and Merida. They already have a foundation called, named after them, Bill and Merida. That didn't mean they were very much educated, not at all. They were not very much educated, but they knew that innovativeness and creativity are the surest way of doing wonders. What if I try this? And you see, most of us are afraid to try. Yet the only way is to take risk as a professional and try what people think it is not correct. So it is not the university you are in, the school you went, that will be innovative. It is you who will choose and decide and train your mind to be creative and innovative in order to make progress. If you fear what are people going to say, as we noted much earlier, blocks to creativity and innovativeness, you will be left there for the next 20 years, 30 years. You will not move an inch because you are waiting for what people are going to say. You are waiting for what is approved by the Kenya Bureau of Standards, or what people in the village gossipers and rumor mongers are going to say. I think there is a reason to ignore them and be creative. Now, you can also see some of the greatest innovators that years ago. People like Jeff Bezos, Larry Page, Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman. Okay, all these people. And some of the greatest innovators since the 1980s, who are recent ones, are people like the founder of Facebook. He's a young man, Mark Zuckerberg. The billionaire co-founder and CEO of Facebook is responsible for the most successful social networking website on the internet. Born while he was studying at Harvard. He was just a student. He started trying with a little knowledge and running a computer. He tried something that makes him sit down, eat, as we are trying to make money for him here in Africa, Europe, West Indies, and other parts of the world. So innovativeness is drives us, and creativity, this and invention, they drive us to try. Okay, you can also talk of Dustin Moskovitz, a former co-founder of Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, Moskovitz left Facebook to found Asana, the web-based productivity software. They are quite a number. We can't exhaust all these guys. Okay, you can talk of Jack Andraka, was only born in 1987, but by the age of 15, he has already changed the world with his innovation. Andraka has developed a new way to detect pancreatic, ovarian, and lung cancer during early stages when there is a much higher likelihood of a cure. His inexpensive method, which could save countless lives, won the 2012 Golden E-More Award, the grand prize of the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair. The last one on this line, Esha Kare, is another impressive young innovator who, at the age of 18, created a tiny device that could charge a mobile phone in 20 to 30 seconds. It did a revolutionary technology she calls a supercapacitor. She won the 2013 Intel Foundation Young Scientist Award for her invention and plans to use the prize money to pay for her tuition at Harvard and continue her work as an inventor. So what we are trying to say, we are not scaring you with American performers. That is not the point. We are saying there are quite a number. Those who are in when we studied the innovators in Africa, even before the coming of westernization in Africa, you remember there was innovation in Africa, even calendar. Yes, the calendar we saw began in Africa, the making of modern calendar, because of innovativeness in Egypt and other places. Even Egyptian cuneiform, the writing we do today began as Egyptian cuneiform. It went to Greece, it was improved. It went to Europe, it was improved through innovation. And it came back to Africa, the way we are using it today. So Africa has had ancient innovation that have changed the world. And we listed about 10 major issues about Africa and the history of innovation and innovative thinking. That was not well published, not well publicized, not well broadcasted, not well given to the world. Hence, you may think because of our people are not good at writing, it gives a long impression that there is nothing innovative and creative in Africa. That is a lie times a lie, minus lie, plus a lie. Everything is a lie. Through this, Africa has had innovative people, great invention, great creativity, and it continues. Only that we need to make it, the culture of writing should come up in order to expose the creative geniuses of Africa. Now, as we wind up today's lesson, because we don't have to say too much, we just need to say a little and provoke your mind as you move to the other one. Habits that can help in developing innovative minds. 1, maintain a keen sense of curiosity. They say curiosity killed a cat, just to scare you. What if you die when you are trying to build a better world? You die for a purpose. The cat would die because of curiosity. But you wonder, does the cat have a purpose for doing what it does that will cost its death? For you, because you are a human being, you have mind, you have culture. Anthropology tells us that animals have no culture, but human beings have culture. And that curiosity will be within the culture. Hence, you be thinking, you are thinking being. A cultured person is also a thinking being. Because culture embraces the total sum of life, So that is it. You maintain a keen sense of curiosity. The other one is jot down ideas and thoughts. Seek out new experiences. Number 4, practice mindfulness. Number 5, take risks and make mistakes. Don't fear making mistakes, because it is in making mistakes that you go far. Number 6, share your ideas where it is needed. Number 7, stay persistent. Of course, when you share the ideas, you'll be now able to listen to the response and see whether your creativity, your innovativeness that goes with creativity needs some improvements. And don't be shy to improve. Number 7, stay persistent. Okay, the ego stays persistent in the air. So the ego will not fall because it's persistent and consistent. Number 8, take solitude breaks. Also, you need some rest as time demands. So it's not a question of moving, it's a question of pausing and asking yourself, how far have I gone? How far have I cultivated in this garden of mine? You need to look back, sit back and watch and, check what you have done, recheck, do stock taking. So how do I know if I'm innovative? You can know through, by the fact that some skills and qualities go hand in hand with innovation, and they include the confidence to take on big, the confidence to take on big. 2, ambitious goals and take risks. Number 3, the ability to adapt and be resourceful in unexpected situations. Number D, the motivation to identify where things can be improved and then act on it. The other question now is, as we wind up, how can you become more innovative on daily basis? How can that be? How can you become more innovative on daily basis? Number 1 out of the 8 points, start conducting stand-up meetings so that your entire energy changes when you are standing up. Number 2, surround yourself with inspiration. Not people who put you down, but people who inspire you, things that inspire you. Sometimes even going for a picnic, looking at the countryside can inspire. There are those who get inspired by a mere walk, not driving, walking. They are inspired, they think a lot. Identify where you get inspired more. And surround yourself with that inspiration, not discouragement. Yes. Number 3, get a buddy or an innovative companion, a fellow you can walk with, and you walk with because you have an agenda that can be fulfilled due to that teamwork. So get a buddy and or an innovative companion. Yes, when you get a fellow who cannot take you to the next stage, a fellow who will take you backward, you are at a loss, my dear. Number 4, pick small projects. Yes, bit by bit. Number 5, flip your assumption. Flip your assumptions. It's like keep revisiting it. And my assumption or hypothesis or my tentative ideas, are they like keep rechecking them, flip it up. Yes, bring it to life. Number 6, bring it to life. Yes, how you can become more innovative, bring it to life. Yes, number 7, ban things. Yes, number 8, get out of the office. Yes, so like early scientists whose discoveries came when they were out there in the fields and not in their respective offices. Get out of the office, get out of your cocoons, burn things out, bring it to life, be proactive. That's what we are saying, simply. That way, you can become more innovative on daily basis. Of course, if you listen to those fellows who beat your mind, wanapiga kichwa yako kama nyoka, kukuambia maneno chafu chafu, they keep telling you things that don't build you. Okay, I'm not telling you surround yourself with flatterers. That's not also the point, because you need a fair person who is thinking. You move far. The other one is possible inventions in 2050. What are possible? What are we likely in the next 100 years? Let us think what is likely to come. There could be space vacations, my thinking. There could be drone solutions, my thinking. There could be what I'm calling hyperloop. You're gonna give you assignment to check. Hyperloop. We're gonna have entire dependency on renewable energy. You never know, one day we not need KPLC or hydroelectric power. We may need something else. Yes, I want to believe we can tap, if we can harvest water in a desert in Egypt and Israel, and they give us food, yet they are in deserts. There could be, I see an innovativeness, because the cost of electricity has gone very high. If we are this creative, definitely anything can happen if we engage our children and the young ones to be creative from the day one. A lot of human progress is going to take place. You never know, even in these churches and mosques, you never know. There could be change of worship. There could be mainly, you never know. There could be another way through the new science and technology where we shall continue with this worship outside what we are already doing, or beside what we are already doing. There is also enabled human robots and reincarnation of or rebirth of people. There could also be rebirth of people. You know, even these things we call, there are these things we call fashions. Fashions could be what was there some years ago that comes now under improvements, under innovativeness, under creativity. And you start saying this is a fashion. Nani amekwambia ni fashion? It was there with your grandfather, but it came in another way. So again, let us ask yourselves as wind up. What is creativity? Creativity is an ability, okay? Ability to imagine or invent something new. So what is an attitude? What is creativity really? It's also an attitude. And what do we mean by an attitude? It's the ability to accept change and newness. Ability to accept change and newness. A willingness to play with ideas and possibilities. A flexibility of outlook. The habit of enjoying the good or looking for ways to improve it. What is creativity? It is also a third point. It's a process. So creative people work hard and continually improve ideas and solutions by making gradual alterations and refinement to their works. Contrary to the mythology surrounding creativity, very, very, very few works of creative excellence are produced with a single stroke of brilliance or in a frenzy of rapid activity. Much closer to the real truth are the stories of companies who had to take the invention away from the inventor in order to market it, because the inventor would have kept on tweaking it and fiddling with it always trying to make it a little better. So those are the things we can talk about today, knowing we have only 2 minutes. But of course, in the diagram that I've posted there on your screen, you can see that diagram showing critical thinking and creative thinking. You can see the huge difference. Of course, our focus is creative thinking, but it is very good to see it the way it is. A critical thinking is analytic, while a creative thinker is generative. A critical thinker is convergent versus divergent, vertical versus lateral, probability versus possibility, judgment versus suspended judgment, focused versus diffuse, objective versus subjective. You know you subject it when you start getting creative, but objective you open up. In the so-called Socratic questioning, you ask when, how, that's when you are critical. And but when you now start getting creative, you now start narrowing it up in order to understand it in specific and concrete terms. So you are not a generalizer any longer. You don't generalize any longer. Now, in an activity like problem solving, both kinds of thinking are important. You need to be critical, creative, innovative, or not even both, all types of thinking. Innovative thinking, inventive thinking, critical thinking, creative, you need it all to solve human problems. First, we must analyze. To analyze is critical. Analyzing is part of creative thinking, critical thinking. In order now, so you analyze a problem, then we must generate possible solutions. That's the time you become creative now, when you start generating possible solutions. Because analyzing means asking so all these questions: when, how, what, how did it happen, why didn't they do this or the other. Next, we must choose and implement the best solution. And finally, we must evaluate the effectiveness of the solution. As you can see, this process reveals an alternation between the two kinds of thinking, critical and creative. In practice, both kinds of thinking operate together much of the time and are not really independent of each other. So you cannot rule out all those concepts we have discussed, although critical thinking has just come. We did not have to get it in, but it has come. So you can see when we come, because it's like we had addressed some of these methods here in the other unit, we shall look at some of these creative methods. So we leave it there so that you join the other unit. Any question, any quick question, please ask.